Hi Pratyusha, welcome to eHub at Ashwini. It's really pleasure to have you.
So, thank you. Thank you. I'm Pratyusha. I'm currently working at Electronic Arts. I'm a senior digital planning manager at EA. I have studied, born and brought up around Vijayawada, and I did my master's in Siddhartha. And I worked initially with TCS for a few years and then moved on to Electronic Arts. And I've known Ashwini for 18 years now. So that's all about me.
What is the criteria he or she, a student, should satisfy to fly to USA?
So before we go into questions, I would say I haven't studied here, but I have worked here long enough to know what's the process, what are the common issues students would face after moving here or generally going through the process. And the basic criteria is to pass a written test, which is either TOEFL or IELTS. Both are for English language. They wouldn't expect anything than how you basic communicate or how is your language skill. They're all about knowing your language grip. So that is the basic criteria. And if someone wants to get into MBA here, they need to do GMAT. If not, they need to write GRE if they need to get into any MS courses.
Does the backlogs have any impact on the student after flying abroad? I mean, in getting the best college or getting the internship, uh, does it have any impact on their further career?
It wouldn't impact any chances of getting visa as long as they have cleared it, because what matters for entry is one, your certificate that you're done with your undergrad, and also having these IELTS or TOEFL score would be the basic criteria they would look for. So having backlogs wouldn't impact their chances of getting into US.
How are the opportunities in the US? I mean, for the young chums who are planning to fly there, are there multiple opportunities for them to explore?
There's a lot of expectation on how your score and your top colleges are going to match. And after you get into a college, let's say you're applying for University of Berkeley, when you're confirmed, you would receive an admit letter saying so and so person is accepted into our college and they're eligible to be in the fall or summer classes, and students can start getting into it. And in terms of opportunities after education, mostly during college itself, people would get into internship. Let's say I've studied at University of Berkeley. You can choose colleges around you to do internship. Most cases I hear is as soon as their internship is done, if they like the company and company likes them, they can continue there itself. So your job opportunity is much more rightly available. But it takes a lot of trouble as well to get into these internships. And even after few internships, that's just for experience and you need to find your own job. Something I would say opportunities here are also tightly linked with the networking. So as you know people, as you know what kind of opportunities they have, it would make it easy.
Okay. Do they face any kind of problems in their higher education or regarding their internship?
Something I would say one a big difference in terms of education in India and education in the United States is this is much more practical and much more robust. So you need to invest a lot of time compared to how we would have invested. Let's say you can study in the last week or last month and you can still make it. But I would say that's a little bit challenging here. You should be constantly on with your test or exams, any project works. That's one thing which you need to be up to date with what's going on. And something which will also be important is cultural fit, because we come from a different language, different food, different ethnicity. All of this will make an impact, but I wouldn't say they're big hindrances. These are overcomable, but that's something we learn as we see and as we adapt, we would be able to.
Do they need to get certified in any of the courses before they fly abroad?
Nothing, I'm not aware of any such certifications which would help them move forward. But as they move here and they started working on their masters, they would know what is relevant for them. And doing certification then would be really helpful just for their next career, unless they know which kind of work they are interested in. Some like AI, some like other engineering, or some like coding. So they need to know their goal on what they wanted to study, what kind of job they're interested in, so that certifications would help thereafter.
What about the sponsorship?
In terms of financial sponsorships, usually for student visas, there is no sponsorship. But as you get admit from a college, Indian banks itself offer loans. So they do financial assistance. And that's one thing I also see from students who studied here. They take care of their loan as they finish the education. People work hard and harder to close the loan, because unlike doing a master's in India, it is so expensive to do it here. And by being here, kids would become also responsible to clear off their own loans. So no financial assistance, at least from here, but it is very much available within India. Banks do provide financial assistance.
So you mean that they can pay back all their loans, whatever they have applied for their higher education? They can simultaneously earn and study as well.
It becomes, they would be at least 21 and they would be eligible enough to make their earning and pay back to the bank them itself instead of relying on parents. That also makes them independent to know how hard it is to earn a penny and how hard it is to save a penny.
It sounds good.
Yeah, it is financially a big commitment. Let's say if someone is at the age of 21, they want to buy a 3 BHK all by themselves. It's a lot of financial commitment, but it's a brave step to go forward and do that. So that's what I would say a study in abroad also makes like. It's a lot of financial commitment, and as they sacrifice, they'll get to know how to save money, how to pay back your loans, all of it. And the other part of it is also, um, in terms of courses and entrances, they will compete with a bigger audience. If you're in your own college, you're talking about 60 students along with you, and it's a different kind of competition. But as you come out of your city, country, and you enter a bigger pool, you will know what is outside competition also like. And it's very important to choose right colleges than going for anything available, because we have seen in the past few years students were sent back because their colleges weren't valid or their courses visas weren't valid. There are a lot of nuances about it, so it's very important to choose the right college before going forward.
Yes. What about the language?
It is, people are compassionate generally. People wouldn't make fun if you don't know something or you're open to ask. I don't say it's easy without English, because that's, of course, there is a universal sign language we all can maintain, but it is not impossible, but it is definitely suggestible to at least understand or how to express what you need, because people generally are compassionate enough and they understand if you don't get it, they try to make their own fair share of explaining things to you. But as you mingle more with people, you can adapt and you will try to learn. So it's needed, but is it a constraint? No, definitely not. It is as in like you are living in, let's say, Bangalore, or you're living in Hyderabad, Delhi, where people have their own local languages. And if you don't know, you will try to find words and try to still communicate on what you needed. That's pretty much how it would be. It's important, I would say it is mandate, especially when students come across, because you're a student, you're studying, you're people expect you to know and learn about it, but definitely not mandate that you're a master of language.
It is almost end of the session. What is the valuable input you are going to give?
Along with all the efforts that you try to do in terms of courses, certifications, or how to make my financial plan, along with all of this, it's also important to have a community for yourself. Let's say you're planning to travel to Austin, University of Austin is what you want, or you want to travel to University of Berkeley. University of Pennsylvania, anything you look for, make sure you have someone you know around that community or around the university for yourself. Because as we come this far, you don't have the immediate family to assist you or your own pool of friends to call and say, hey, here is what I need. Can you just get that for me? So it's not that easy. So make sure you build your network, build your own alumni. Let's say you're from a college, maybe your seniors or super seniors, some of them would have studied abroad and did something similar. So try to build that network, find out who can help you. Because when you're this far, the easiest access is the friends here. You can always call family and say, oh, this is so depressing or this is so challenging anyway. But if you have your own people here, it would definitely help. And even after you move here, having someone you know already will definitely help you mingle faster.
Thanks a lot, Pratyusha. It's really a pleasure to have you.
Ashwini, thank you so much. Anything that I can help with.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Please like, share, comment and subscribe to eHub at Ashwini. All your like, share, comment and subscription means a lot to us. It is like the positive energy you give to us to make the best videos. Thank you.